Hello everyone, Chodesh Tov. Today is the first day of Adar, and as the Talmud says, Misha Nichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. We hope that this month will bring all of us much joy, especially this year. We have three sponsors to thank for this video Dvar Torah. We first want to thank Cheryl and Bill Adler, who are sponsoring the Dvar Torah in celebration of their daughter Rachel's birthday, who was born on Shabbat Parshat Mishpatim. And happy birthday, Rachel, if you hear this. And thank you to Cheryl and Bill, and Mazel Tov to the whole family. Our second sponsor, we want to thank Stan and Aviva Reichgott, who are sponsoring in memory of the recent passing of Stan's brother, Irvin Robert Bob Reichgott Yitzchak Ben Yaakov HaKohen Zechrona Levracha, and it should be a zechus and aliyah for his neshama. And we also thank Stan and Aviva for the sponsorship. Thank you very much. And finally, the Dvar Torah is also being sponsored by Dr. Richard Shechtman in memory of his father, Olav Shalom, whose yahrzeit was observed on the 29th of Shvat, and it should be a merit, a zechus, and aliyah for his neshama. And we thank you, Dick, as well. Thank you to all of our sponsors. The Torah in last week's Parshat, Parshas Yisro, that is where the main description of the events of Har Sinai and the giving of the Torah are recorded. However, in this week's Parsha, after the Torah listing many mitzvot in the end of Parshat Mishpatim, the Torah completes its description of the events at Har Sinai. And it is in this week's Parsha that we find the famous phrase, the declaration of the Jewish people, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will listen, we will hear the words of the Torah. And there clearly is a progression. In last week's Parsha, the Jewish people respond to Moshe, Na'aseh, we will do it. Even in this week's Parsha, Perek Chaf Daled, Pasuk Gimel, the Jewish people initially respond to Moshe, Na'aseh, when he tells them the words of Hashem. But then a few psukim later, at the great covenant ceremony, when they actually seal the bris, the covenant between the Jewish people and Hashem, and the blood is sprinkled on the altar and upon the Jewish people, there, by Kach Sefer Bris, Moshe takes the book of the covenant, the parts of the Torah that already existed, Vayikra Baznei Ha'am, and he reads it to the people, Vayomer, and they say, Kol asher diber Hashem na'aseh v'nishma. All that Hashem spoke, quote, na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will listen. What is the exact meaning of na'aseh v'nishma? How does that go beyond the simple declaration of we will do? Our sages understood that these two words have an incredible power to them. They are incredibly significant. They are magical, mystical. The Gemara says that when Hashem heard the response of the Jewish people, Yatza Baskol, a heavenly voice emerged, V'amar lahem, and said to them, Mi gila lebanai raz zeh, who revealed to my children this secret, this formula, Shamalachei Asher Mishtamshem Bo, that the angels use. This is the way of the angels. The Gemara says, B'shash Yekdimu Yisrael Na'aseh L'nishma, when the Jewish people responded and placed the word Na'aseh, we will do, before we will listen or we will hear. Bo Shishim Ribo Shamalachei Ashari, 600,000 ministering angels descended, the Kol Echad V'Echad, to each of the Jews. V'kashru lo Shnei Ksarim Echad K'neged Na'aseh V'Echad K'neged Nishma, and crowned each Jew with two crowns, one for Na'aseh and one for Nishma. And although, unfortunately, when the Jews sinned with the golden calf, the Gemara says they lost those golden crowns, but still, they are not lost forever. Asid HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'hachziran lanu. Ultimately, in the distant future, Hashem will return them to the Jewish people. Shnamar, as the verse says, Upduye Hashem Yeshuvun, and when the redeemed ones of God will return, Ubo Tzion Barina, and they will come to Tzion in joy. V'simchas olam al rasham, they will have eternal happiness on their heads. What does that phrase mean? Simcha shemei olam al rasham. It does not mean eternal happiness, but the happiness of the ancient times. the happiness of those crowns of Nasa and Nishma will be returned and placed upon the heads of the Jewish people. So again, there's something clearly so very important about this. What, though, exactly does Nasa and Nishma capture? There are many layers and levels of meaning. And let's just share two that are complementary. The Gemara recounts that there was a certain heretic that saw Rava, one of the great sages of the Gemara, studying. And he was so absorbed in his study that he was some way leaning on his hand, on his finger, and his finger was pressing on, you can imagine, like a wooden stender, to translate into more current furniture. And it was pressing on it, and he was actually bleeding, his finger, but he was so absorbed in his learning, he didn't notice. Amar Lei, this heretic, the one who wanted to mock Rava and the Jewish people in the Torah, said to him, Ama Pazizo, you are an impetuous people. You do not even realize what you are doing or what you accepted. Dekadmisu pumaichu leudnaichu, that you placed your mouths before your ears. You accepted the Torah before you had heard it and knew what was in it. You said Nasa before Nishma. Amar Le, Rava responded, Anan disaginan bishlemusa, we who are strong in our faith. Ksivban, it says regarding us, Tomas Yesharim Tinachem, the perfect faith of the upright will lead them. Our faith leads us. Even if we don't know exactly where we are going or what we signed up to, we know it is for the good. Hanach enshi disagan ba'alilusa, but those who are strong in their craftiness, ksiv behu v'selef bogdim yishadem, the perverseness of the faithless will destroy them. Those who always question, those who are always trying to figure out how this will harm them or what evil is on the other side, they will be destroyed. On a simple level, Rava's point was that you're right, the Jewish people, this is the traditional understanding of Nasa v'Nishma, the Jewish people didn't ask to read the fine print. The contract was placed before them, so to speak, and they signed. It's Hashem's Torah. What more do they need to know? We will do it. We're ready to sign up immediately. V'Nishma, of course, we will learn, we'll find out what's in the Torah, and we'll fulfill it. This is a midrashic presentation and explanation of Nasa v'Nishma. But I would actually like to look at how the basic, straightforward commentaries of our tradition understood the verse, and we'll see that it actually is quite complementary to the midrashic one. The classic commentaries found in the Mikro Kedolot, our medieval commentaries, were also bothered by the extra word or the additional word nishma. How is Nasa v'Nishma different than Naasa? I read to you from the Chizkuni, and this explanation is found in the Ibn Ezra and others as well. Nasa v'Nishma, we will do and we will listen. Nasa mashakasuv kan, we will do what is written here, that which you have shared with us. Hashem had spoken the 10 Commandments. He had already presented to them all of the laws and Mishpatim according to many. We will do everything that it is said here. V'od nishma im yirtza litzavos. And we will also listen and accept and heed in the future if you'll wish to command us with additional mitzvahs. The Jewish people knew that this might not be it, that this could have been just the beginning of the Torah. Hashem certainly would have the right to command future mitzvahs, which of course he did. And so Nasa v'Nishma was stating that, yes, we accept what is written here. They actually knew everything that had already been written. But we also accept and will listen and will follow all of the mitzvos that you will command in the future. But I believe we can expand this idea. The future always brings unpredictable situations. They were committing themselves not just to the mitzvos, but to Hashem. They were committing themselves to a journey. Even if they committed themselves to Shabbos, they cannot imagine all the situations in which they and their descendants would have to keep Shabbos. They were committing themselves to the uncharted future, because of course there's no way to write everything down. They wouldn't know all the situations they would be in. They didn't know the people that they would be in the future. Nasav Nishma was saying yes to the mitzvos, that which we know, we commit ourselves v'nishma, and for the uncharted future, for the unpredictable situations, to enter the unknown future, we will go with you, with our faith in you. It's not that they didn't ask to see what was written in the Torah. Maybe they did know everything that was at that point written, but they can't know the future, and they are willing, though, to commit themselves to the future. One of the most difficult aspects of the pandemic is not knowing what the future will be. Impossible to plan for an unpredictable future. How do you plan for a simcha that you hope to celebrate? How do you plan for childcare if you don't know what the situation with school or childcare will be? How do you make financial decisions? How do you know to make decisions about jobs when so many variables are still unknown? And that is what makes it very difficult. If we knew what the future would be, if we knew that we would have to deal with X, Y, or Z for 6, 9, 12 months, and we would know that after that it would be gone, it would be a lot easier, but we don't know that. The future is unknown. Nasa v'nishma was the declaration of the Jewish people. It is the secret power of the Jewish people. It is the faith and strength that the Jewish people demonstrated that we have at Har Sinai. To say that we have the faith to face an unknown future, and to do so with our faith and our commitment to Hashem. As the Gemara says, this declaration of Nasa v'nishma is associated not just with faith and with strength, but with joy. It is referred to as Simchat Olam, the ancient happiness, our Hashem, that was on their heads and will once again be on the heads of the Jewish people. What will our future be? Ours in February 2021, we don't know. But we know that we have our strength, our faith, that the Jewish people declared with Nasa v'nishma. It's something that is still with us. We will one day ultimately see the full glory and joy of that Nasa v'nishma, those crowns on our heads, but we still have it within us. And hopefully this will give us strength to deal with the unknown future, and we hope to soon see some of the joy that is associated with those crowns. We hope that especially this month of Adar will bring salvation, will bring joy, and we hope the power and strength of Nasa v'nishma will give us all strength and head into the future with greater simcha. Good Shabbos and Shabbat Shalom.